Sometimes you look around the world and you just think, this feels a little strange, doesn't it? It's like when your Wi-Fi is slow and you know something's not quite right, but you can't immediately see the problem. Many people all over the place are feeling a bit worried. They see things happening that just don't seem fair. It's a feeling that's hard to shake off sometimes, like a tune stuck in your head, but not a fun one. This unease, this sense that things could be better, is something many of us share today. And you know, often these big problems, these feelings of unfairness, they don't just appear out of nowhere like magic. Sometimes, if you look closely, you see that the issues might be starting from the top, from the people who are supposed to be in charge, the leaders. These are the folks who have the job of guiding everyone, making good choices for the whole team, not just for themselves or their friends. But what happens when they don't? That's when things can get really messy, really fast, for a lot of people. It's also super easy to get confused these days, isn't it? There's so much noise, so many voices shouting on the internet, on TV, everywhere. Everyone has an opinion, and everyone thinks their opinion is the most important one. It can feel like you're trying to listen to your favorite song in the middle of 100 other songs playing at the same time. How do you pick out the right information? How do you know who to trust when so many people are talking and some are not being very honest? So, this is what we're going to talk about. Why do we sometimes find ourselves with leaders who don't seem to do the right thing for all the people they lead? It's a big question, a serious one. And it's important because the leaders we choose, or the leaders who end up in charge, have a huge impact on everyone's lives. They can make things better, or they can make things a whole lot worse. So, let's try to understand this a little bit more, shall we? So, let's talk about these leaders. Some leaders, unfortunately, make choices that are not fair at all. It's like they forget they are supposed to be looking out for everyone, not just a small group of people, or just themselves. Imagine a team captain who only passes the ball to their best friend, even if someone else is open for a goal. That's not good for the team, right? Well, it's kind of like that in countries too. Some leaders act in ways that help some people but hurt many others, which is a big problem. For example, look at what has been happening in China with the Uyghur people. Amnesty International tells us about a man named Ilham Tohti. He's an academic who wanted peaceful talks, but he was put in jail for a very, very long time, a whole decade now, since 2014. The government said he was trying to separate the country, but many say his trial wasn't fair. His family hasn't even seen him since 2017. This is a serious injustice, where a leader or a government is treating a whole group of people, the Uyghurs, incredibly badly, and silencing those who speak for them. Then you have situations like in France. Just recently, in December 2024, the government there basically collapsed. The Prime Minister had to leave after only 3 months. This happened because many different political groups, even ones that usually disagree, came together to say, nope, we don't trust this government. It shows that when leaders aren't doing a good job, or when people feel things are unstable and not heading in the right direction, like with France's money problems and political fighting, big changes can happen. It's a sign that people were not happy. And this isn't just about 1 or 2 countries. The United Nations, which is like a big group of countries working together, tells us that problems like racial discrimination are still happening all over the world. This is even after 60 years of having an international agreement to stop it. That's a long time to be fighting the same problem. It means that even with rules in place, some leaders and systems are still allowing unfairness to continue. When leaders are unjust, or allow injustice, it creates deep problems that affect everyone in society. It's complicated, man. So the big question is, why do people sometimes follow these leaders who aren't doing the right thing? It's not always a simple answer, you know. Sometimes these leaders are incredibly good at talking. They have charisma. They can stand up and give amazing speeches that make people feel hopeful or excited or even angry about the right things. They make big promises like, I will fix everything. And when times are tough and people are struggling, they really want to believe that someone can make things better. It's human nature. Another reason, and this is a tough one, is fear. Yes, sometimes people follow leaders because they are scared. They might worry that if they speak out, or if they don't go along with what the leader wants, something bad could happen to them. Maybe they could lose their jobs, or be treated unfairly, or even worse. Fear is a very powerful thing, and it can make people do things they wouldn't normally do. It can make them stay quiet when they know something is wrong, which is completely understandable in scary situations. And then there's the whole thing about not thinking for ourselves. It's true. Sometimes it just feels easier to go with the flow, right? If everyone around you is supporting a certain leader or believing a certain story, it takes courage to be the one person who stops and says, "Wait a minute, is this actually true? Is this actually right?" It's like being in a crowd that's all running in one direction. It's easier to run with them than to stop and ask why everyone is running. This is what we call blind following. But here's the thing, it's not just about blaming the leaders all the time. We, the people, also have a part to play in all of this. If we don't pay attention, if we don't ask tough questions, if we don't demand that our leaders be fair and honest, then it becomes much easier for the wrong kind of leaders to get power and to keep it. It's a shared responsibility, like a dance. It takes two to tango, and it takes leaders and followers to create the situation we're in, good or bad. When leaders act unjustly, it's not just a small problem for a few people. It really does affect everyone. Think about it. If a leader allows unfairness, like the racial discrimination the UN talks about, it makes the whole society less safe and less happy. It creates division, it makes people angry and sad, and it stops everyone from being able to live their best lives. When people are treated badly, it hurts their families, their communities, and in the end, it hurts the whole country. Injustice is like a poison that slowly spreads. But here's the good news, and it's really important news. People have power. Yes, you do. We are not just helpless sheep waiting to be led. We can learn about what our leaders are doing. We can read, we can listen, we can talk to each other, and we can think critically about the information we get. We can ask, is this fair? Is this true? Is this good for everyone? We don't have to just accept things if they feel wrong. We have voices. And together those voices can be very loud and very powerful. So what this means is that we need to encourage ourselves and each other to really think for ourselves. Don't just believe something because a leader says it loudly or because it's popular on social media. Do your own homework. Look for leaders who are honest, who are kind, who show that they genuinely care about all people, not just some. Look for leaders who want justice and fairness to be real for everyone. Choosing these kinds of leaders is one of the most important things we can do for our future. And this is where the hope comes in. We absolutely can make better choices. It's not always easy, for sure. Sometimes it feels like a big challenge. But if we all start to think more carefully, to demand more from our leaders, and to support those who truly want to build a fair and just world, we can change things. We can build a future where leaders work for the good of everyone. Together, by choosing wisely and speaking up for what's right, we can definitely head towards a much brighter and more hopeful tomorrow for all.